You're listening to Pararsearch UK Radio. News, views and reviews from the world of the paranormal from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web. Pararsearch UK Radio.
The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Pararsearch UK Radio or its affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
You're listening to The Spirit Dimension with your host, Kerry Greenaway, right here on Pararsearch Radio.
Good evening and welcome to The Spirit Dimension. My name is Kerry Greenaway, and on a Sunday we like to bring you something a little bit different from various realms of the paranormal and spiritual field, and tonight is no different. But before we get into that, I want to introduce my co-host, Claire Hinks. Good evening, Claire.
Good evening, Kerry. And have you been doing the weather this lovely day?
Oh, it's been beautiful today, hasn't it?
It has, and I know we're at opposite ends of the country.
No, it's been absolutely stunning
We've
today.
been sharing amazing weather. It's been lovely.
It has.
And
it makes you feel so much better.
Oh, it does. It does. It's a proper bit of summer.
Yeah. So did you enjoy your holiday?
Oh, I did. Yes, because I missed a week, didn't I?
You did.
I totally forgot that. I did, and we had a lovely holiday. But I really missed you.
Oh, I missed you too.
I missed our spirit dimension. I missed it.
But that's okay, because you're back in the house tonight. Now, before we get our lovely guest on for this evening, we had a Pararsearch Radio group competition going on, which was for a mediumistic reading with your very good self, Claire.
This is very exciting, and I've never been part of a competition before, so I feel very special.
Well, it's all go tonight. So I have all the names in the hat.
Excellent.
So I'm going to pull one out.
Oh, drum roll!
I should have got my drum roll sorted, but I didn't.
Oh, damn it!
Sorry. Right, the name is out of the hat.
Okey-doke.
And the lucky winner is Becky Lyons. Well done, Becky. We'll be in touch shortly with yourself so we can organise a convenient time for your reading with Claire. Becky Lyons.
Yay.
Well done, Becky.
Oh, I look forward to that.
Yes, I look forward to hearing about it afterwards, obviously. Anyway,
So, should we get on?
We shall get on, because we have a lovely guest in the studio with us. She's been on Spirit Dimension before, and she does Akashic soul healing. Soul healing from the Akashic Records level. Her name is Heather Prince. Good evening, Heather. How have you been?
Good evening. I'm lovely. I'm enjoying this beautiful, sunny Mediterranean weather.
I know, it makes you feel so good.
Yeah.
Sunshine, just this recipe makes the soul feel good, doesn't it?
It does. It lifts you.
It most certainly does.
Totally.
We love a beer garden in this weather too, just saying. Okay, now Heather, you have been the busiest girl in the world since we last spoke to you, and I
have been exceptionally busy. Yes.
Yeah. Now, talking a little, we mentioned it a little bit before, and we've spoken with Lisa as well about this, about the Hunch Club, because you're right on the verge of launching now, aren't you?
We are. We have arranged a fantastic one-day workshop in South Kensington on Saturday the 9th of June between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m, where you're going to get lots of tasty goodies all about connecting with your superpower. And we're actually going to be opening the doors to the membership club online, which will open on the 4th of June. So really exciting right now.
It is. It's a massive step forward for you guys, and building your the spiritual community that you. This is the ultimate game, is building this spiritual community, isn't it?
It's building a community of people that may have thought, well, I haven't got intuition, and are getting the message that actually every single one of us has got intuition. And if they wish to know how to use that to create the life of their dreams, then jump on board with us, because we're going to have a great ride.
Most certainly are. So let's talk a little bit about intuition.
Yeah.
Because I know you've done a few live feeds on Facebook.
We have.
Talking about this very, very topic. So how would you put what your intuition is?
It's that inner knowingness. Okay, we're on the radio right now. So somebody that is listening to us has turned their dial to connect to this radio wavelength, and therefore they can hear us. And if they turn their dial, they can change it and listen to, I don't know, smooth or magic or whatever it is that they like to listen to. And it's the same with us. We've got superpowers, 3 superpowers, one being meditation, where we go quiet and we tune ourselves in to a higher energy knowledge. The second one is imagination. And the third one is our intuition. And those 3 working together and understanding them changes everything.
Oh, I totally agree with that. Claire?
I love that, actually. Intuition. I'm writing it down because I've never sort of thought of it like superpowers before. And I think that's a really good way of putting it. Meditation, imagination, intuition. All of those things, they are like superpowers that we just completely overlook so much, aren't they?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people out there that don't think of themselves as spiritual. So we're not just, inviting spiritual people. We're inviting everybody and anybody.
Because all of those things are not exactly, they don't have to be spiritual. All the things you said are not necessarily spiritual, are you? You're not labelling anybody.
No, it's all about, lots of people might find that they really believe that they're not intuitive. And they might believe that at the beginning it doesn't work, and they might feel disappointed. But actually you have to start with the belief that actually every single one of us has got intuition, because we have. And there's so many amazing stories out there that we're sharing on the free Facebook page, Hunch Club, about animals with intuition and mothers with intuition and children with intuition. It's not just a specific individual, it's everybody.
Oh, yeah. I totally agree with that. So can you tell us a specific point in time before you sort of like got into this, where your intuition kind of kicked in and you followed that intuition and it proved to be right?
Well, I think the main thing that I like to share with everybody is that I've got 3 children, and they're all grown up now and they've got children of their own. But my youngest son, he had different behaviour to my other 2 children. And a few people said to me, if you're worried about him, why don't you take him to a child psychiatrist? And I thought, do I really? My gut feeling is that actually he's not, mentally different. He's just different. And I went on the internet, which was quite new at that time, about 25 years ago, and I discovered in America psychologists were seeing children that they labelled indigo kids. And indigo kids are different because they come here and they act like royalty. And if you say, you're going to get in trouble with the headmaster, they don't give 2 hoots. They're not scared of authority. And the more I read about indigo kids, the more I realised that my youngest son was an indigo kid. So off I go to a lady who assessed him, and she said, Heather, he's kinesthetic, he's hands-on learning, he's not visual, he's not audio, he's hands-on. So if he acted something out, he'd remember what he learnt. So I thought, well, that's interesting. And at the time, she did this therapy that cleared past lives. And that began my journey doing the ancestral healing that I do now.
Yeah, that started you on your Rootmaster, didn't it?
And I followed my gut. I followed my mother's intuition that my child wasn't mentally imbalanced. My child was just different. And I wanted to understand, how could I help him? So the lady that I saw said to me, well, Heather, why don't you write a book? So that's when I wrote I Am Indigo. And in that book is what foods help, what colour bedroom they should have, what crystals they can use as tools to help them. And it really opened up a whole new avenue for me. And that was just by following my gut.
It's astonishing.
There's so much to be said, isn't there, for following your gut instinct? And I say to people, it's like your inner voice, your gut, isn't it? Once you start to listen to it, you can't ignore it. I do it all the time now. It's really special, actually. It's like that inner voice is very important to listen to.
It's also, I think, one of the hardest things. I think sometimes you get carried through life, and then your intuition kicks in, and sometimes it goes against what's happening in your life. So it sort of will take you to making a difficult decision that you wouldn't necessarily have made. But you can't explain why you need to go in a different route to the way everything's being or seems to be being pushed into. But your intuition is going, no, don't do it. Do something. You don't need to do that. You need to do this. So it can be a very difficult thing to follow too, can't it?
It can be challenging because obviously we're human and there's an element of doubt. So within the Hunch Club, we're going to be helping everybody about trusting themselves, because if you don't trust yourself, then you can't trust others. And then trust leads to faith. And without faith, you're lost. So if anybody's read any business books out there, it's all about for having faith. And we share a quote on the Hunch Club Facebook page, and it says, intuition is the intelligence of the heart and the knowledge of the soul. It knows instantly and constantly what can take decades of experience for the mind to logically sort out and understand. Trust it, and the reason will follow in time.
Yes, I agree with that. So is there...
Yeah. There's so many clients that come to me that have trust issues. And if there are trust issues and they don't trust themselves, then they're not going to trust their intuition. And that's the first thing we're going to focus on in very simple, actionable steps in the membership club. And there's not going to be any overwhelm. So many people have shared with us that they've joined other courses or trainings and they've just felt overwhelmed and they never followed it through. But we have taken that all on board and we're going to make it very small, bite-sized steps.
Fantastic. We have actually got a question in the chat room right at this moment in time. Good evening, Darlene. That's Mama D. Good evening, Mama D. She is an amazing lady in her own right. Now, she's asked, where can she get your book, I Am Indigo?
It's on Amazon.
Oh, right, cool. I'll search the link out for that and share that into the chat room.
If you go onto Amazon and you put in I Am Indigo by Heather Prince, it will come up.
Fantastic. I'll quickly search that out for you and get you the link, Darlene, so no problem at all. Now, what else will you be... The bite-sized pieces are incredibly important because I found this... recently, I was at a Mind, Body and Soul affair this weekend, and I found that people were getting overcomplicated. People are making things overcomplicated for themselves and getting a lot of different concepts muddled up. Have you found that, Heather?
I think that the people that might be drawn to coming into the Hunch Club might be experiencing confusion right now. And they're looking for clarity, and that's what we have a mission to help them discover. And step by step, that will lead to them using their superpowers. Yeah,
I agree with that. Finally distilling it down. is like you say, manageable, but
manageable
Lisa
steps. Lisa and I have just worked at a corporate company in London. We did 2 events and we met lots of people in their 20s, their 30s, their 40s. And we said, have you heard of the law of attraction? No. Have you ever heard of our Akashic records? No. There's a lot of people out there unaware, and our mission is to help them become aware and informed.
I agree with that. Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
So tonight we was going to have a call in, but unfortunately we've had major technical difficulties tonight. So we're going to do something a little different. Heather, you was going to give us like a little example of how you actually work, wasn't you?
Yes.
Would you do it for Claire for us, please, on air?
Absolutely. So what I do, I have a folder here, and in that folder I have over 30 different charts. And whether I'm working for somebody virtually or abroad or whatever, I start by using a dowsing crystal and I ask to prep to work. And the crystal moves round and round and round in a circle while I link in with the higher consciousness of that individual. And what I need from that individual is their name. So we've got Claire. And we don't need to say publicly what your date of birth is, Claire, but normally I would write that down in the report. And an ancestral healing takes approximately 90 minutes, and we kind of take off the outer layer of a person's onion, and we research negative energies between you and your biological father and biological mother, because I work with a lot of people that are adopted or fostered or whatever, and we just remove all the negativity that has been there from past experiences together and from the present. And we also look at ancestors and see what karmic shadows have been inherited in your DNA, just like you inherit the colour of your eyes or the shape of your hips or whatever. So today, all I'm going to do for you very simply is just check out, what did you choose as your theme and challenge in this current life as Claire? So your main theme and challenge, actually, Claire, is about control and power. So this is all about self-control and being empowered. Because when you look at countries where the leaders are controlling or overpowering the people, that's when it's out of balance. But when control is about self-control and understanding that you can't control anything other than yourself, and power is all about self-empowerment and not having power over anything or anyone else, that's when it's in balance. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I'm digesting.
Good. Because some people like to control life. And actually, you can co-create life as an energy with the divine, because that's where we're all from. But we can't control the weather. And we can't control the free will of other people.
No.
And power, self-empowerment, is very, very important. And a lot of people give away their power by asking other people, what should I do? What shall I have? Where shall I go? And it's about taking back your power.
Yeah.
And respecting other people's opinion, but making your own choices.
I find that really interesting because my journey, for want of another word, through life has taken me through a lot of letting people do things for me, hiding behind people. But now I'm in a place where I do feel very self-empowered, and my journey has led me to that point. Okay. And now I'm trying to encourage people to do that for themselves as well.
That's really good. And
so that's really good.
It will continue in your life to show itself, but now that you're consciously aware about it, you would think, that's because that is what I've chosen as my theme and challenge, so I'm going to rise to it. I'm going to take control of my life. I'm going to sit in the pilot seat. I'm going to decide where my destination is, and I'm going to take the steps to align myself to that flight course, and I'm going to get to that destination. And
Heather, can I just interrupt you 1 second?
Yeah.
It's really, really interesting, because where you're going is to obviously talk about my parents, I'm guessing, in a minute.
Well, no, I'm not going to do that live on air, because I think that's quite personal. And so tonight I'm going to offer you these theme and challenges, and I'm going to also tell you what master program is running for you. But anything else that I do is obviously really private and personal, and I wouldn't do your parents live on the radio.
I just wondered why you chose to say about a pilot and that I was being in the pilot seat, because my dad was actually a pilot.
Wow. Sometimes I work intuitively, and I just chose that as an example for you, because I'm sure you're aware, if your father's a pilot, if you go 3 degrees off course, you can land in the sea. And in life, we all need to take responsibility of steering our life and staying aligned on the path. And if you, as I say, go 3 degrees off, then you're not aligned. And that's, again, something we're going to talk about within the Hunch Club, about being aligned, because when we've just been to this corporate event recently, we've discovered so many people are running something called spiritual suicide, which is all on my blog at the moment on the Rootmaster website. And spiritual suicide is when you're not aligned. Your inside is not fulfilled, your heart is not singing, you're just doing something as a means to an end, and it's soul destroying, to be honest. And so many people were running that program. But if I now go to my chart, which is master programs of negative energy, we'll see which main one that you're running at the moment, and the crystal will move to something that we can talk about on the radio, because obviously all of this is normally highly confidential. So it's telling me that you're running a master program of anger. Do you get angry?
So I used to get quite angry, but I'm not so much now. Anger has been a bit of an issue.
Okay, because lots of people say to me that, anger's a bad thing. Well, actually, anger isn't. Anger is there to make you aware of something that is unacceptable to you. So if somebody says something or does something, we've got some choices in life. We can make out we're not bothered when actually we are. We can actually lash out and hit back, or we can actually discuss it. And it's really important to actually tell that person how you feel and express your feelings, because when we suppress our emotions, it creates dis-ease, and that's disease. So that's
and those are words that I've used myself today, in fact, talking about somebody else. Disease, disease.
Yes. Disease. So
I would say actually the things that you're bringing up are things that have happened, and that I've actually worked my way through, because I'm not angry. I don't get angry so much now at all, because I've found a way to live more comfortably. You know, I'm much more aware of the universal energy. I'm using my intuition, and I'm using my superpowers every single day, every minute.
Good.
So I feel like these are things that I've worked through, really.
Brilliant, because when I do this work, I also give my clients life tools. So, for example, I would say, if you're really, really angry and you've got a sofa with some soft cushions, go and bash them out and swear and use all the words that you want to use without anybody there. Nobody's judging you. Just get it out, because if you don't, anger is not a good energy to keep within yourself. and to release anger with some exercise, so just get out for a walk, have some space, and take some deep breaths, and you'll feel better by the time you get back. So stuff like that will all help to deal with anger.
Yeah, and I've learnt to remove myself from the situation as well.
Good.
Actually, you can't have an argument with somebody if you don't get involved.
No,
if you step back.
Again, it's coming back to your life theme and challenge. You take control. You can say to that person, right now, I'm feeling really angry. So you're voicing how you feel. I'm feeling really angry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and have a walk. And when I come back and I've calmed down, maybe we can discuss this as adults. And you take control, because that's what it's all about for you. Your theme and challenge is about your power, your control. So this is all related.
Yes, definitely.
Wow. So there you go.
I know. I'm thinking that. Wow.
That's the kind of work that I do. And each time a client works with me, we just go down one more layer of their onion. And there's no judgment. We don't judge mum. We don't judge dad. We don't judge anybody, because we're all energy. We've all come here to learn the same thing, and that's love. And we're all doing the best we can, and life has its ups and downs, because if it didn't, we wouldn't learn anything.
So the next thing you would do would be, I'm really interested in the whole parent part of this, like because we choose our parents, don't we, before we come.
We choose our parents, and sometimes we can even whisper in their ear of the name that we want to have in our life. And that mother would just think, oh, I love that name. It just pops in her head. So that's a possibility as well. And then somebody like Andrew Lloyd Webber, he has chosen parents who encouraged him with music, with culture, with art, with opera, with song, with dance. And it led him to become the man that he is today. And I'm sure that in many, many, many past lifetimes, he was a natural musical soul. So it's that kind of thing. It doesn't happen. Nothing happens by accident.
No. I think we know that, Kerry, don't we?
Well, yes. Yes, we do. Oh my goodness! Well done. Thank you very much, Heather, for doing that for Clare on Air.
Yeah, thank you, Heather.
I know you can't go as deep.
I don't want you to stop.
I know you can't go as deep as you would normally if you was working in a client basis, because obviously, like you say, a lot of confidentiality comes into the way you work as well. So I do appreciate you doing what you can on air for Clare. I'm
just going to look for Clare if she's got any blocks to her positive expression. And right now, your high self is indicating that you've actually got a block to your health right now, Clare. So
my health?
Out of the potential of 10, where your health is, it's at a 6. So when was the last time you had your eyes tested?
Oh, my goodness. I can't believe you just said that. Yes, we were just talking about that today. I need to have my eyes tested, and I know I do because my guide has been telling me to get my eyes tested as well as myself. So yes, I do know that. A long time ago.
So having blocks to health means you taking control of your health. You mindfully making healthy options of what you're drinking and what you're choosing to eat.
Yeah, I am.
And also taking responsibility of having a health check, checking your eyes, checking your teeth. All of that kind of thing comes under health. So it's really important that you book all that in for yourself.
Yes, it really is. And it's really good that you've said that, because anyone listening, Heather is spot on. Because I had to cancel a dental appointment.
What I do with my coaching is I look at the life wheel, and the life wheel is split into pie-size portions. And in those portions is different aspects, and one of them being health. And I check with your higher self out of 10 what number you are, because if you think of a wheel, the outside of the wheel would be 10 10 10 10 10 all the way round. But so many people come to me, say I'm working with a professional football player, and I will not give out any names, and he is absolutely fit and his health is great and he's at a 10, but his relationship might be at a 3, which makes his wheel very, very wobbly. So that's why I always look to see where the blocks are and what needs to be addressed, because my main role is to get my client to their full potential.
So can I just ask you a question, Heather?
Yeah.
When you say you're checking with my higher self, what does that mean? What does that mean?
What does that mean? So, okay, we've each got a high self. It's a higher consciousness. So although we're each a soul and we're in a physical overcoat, a physical body, there's a higher aspect of us.
Okay.
And that higher aspect is what I call your high self. And that is like a chain. And it's, if you think of a chain that you wear around your neck, it's got many links, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So when I work, I make sure that your high self, it's a committee. I check that all the links are at the highest level of consciousness, with all knowledge and understanding completely assimilated and accessible. And I request that all links in your high self committee chain be cleared and removed, leaving only the first link with 2 souls on it, so that there's only the minimum amount to get the maximum information.
Okay.
And then your high self promotes only the positive and makes certain that your negative problems are cleared from your 18 bodies of consciousness. Your aura around you has 18 levels to it. Okay. Your mental body, your auric body, your emotional body. There's many, many layers to it that become affected before your physical body manifests an ailment. So I always check with my clients, have they got problems with their ankles, their knees, their legs, their back? Because whatever's happening with the body is a message.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes. And I always say, when I do a reading for people, I see it in their, sometimes I see their auras, not all the time, but always it will link to somewhere in their body, always. And they'll always say, oh, yes, or like it's communication, or it's heart, or, there's issues here or there. And it always connects. So it's very true what you're saying.
Yes.
Fantastic. I'm a little blown away. I don't know what to say now.
So, I'll be getting an eye test.
And when was the last time you visited the dentist
I just had to cancel a dentist appointment because I was on holiday.
Right.
So I need to book another one, and an eye test, and a doctor's appointment.
And that's all about you taking back control of you.
Yes, it is.
Because your health is about being fit. It's about being healthy and well. So anybody listening to this, the question is, are you a healthy weight for your height? And how physically active are you? And do you take regular exercise? And do you have a limited intake of sugar or caffeine, alcohol, and processed food? And
do you think that what you eat affects how you listen to your intuitiveness?
Yes. I don't know if you've seen on the Hunch Club, Oprah Winfrey has been doing intuitive eating, because anybody with a weight problem, it's not about exactly the food, because diets make a fortune. People lose it, gain it, lose it, gain it. It's about your emotions. People eat connected to their emotions, and once they intuitively understand themselves and what is affecting them to go and grab that chocolate cake or that biscuit, everything shifts.
I'm just having a look at that now you've said it. Actually, it's really interesting, isn't it? Just to put in your mouth what your body tells you to.
Yeah,
if I fancy a bit of sugar,
if you say, I really fancy some fish, that's your intuition saying you need some oily fish, you need some omegas in your body. If somebody says, I really fancy some liver and bacon tonight, it's the body saying, you need some iron. Listen to it. Your body is an amazing, amazing thing. I mean, it works in synergy. All the different organs work in synergy. You've got your chakras as well, your energy centers, all working together like little cogs inside a clock. And when they're not open and balanced, you're not going to have a feeling of well-being.
No, that's right.
I think we all take our bodies for granted until something goes wrong. Okay. And you'll say, I don't know why that happened. It came out the blue. I've never had this before. But it's a message. It's a message. Your body's telling you something.
Okay. So we have had a comment, really, I think is the expression, in the chat room. So physical issues connect to emotion.
Yes.
Is that on every single instance?
Yeah, give me a symptom.
Oh, my hips ache in cold weather. So I always put it down to damp weather.
No. Let's have a look at it.
That's not emotion. That's not emotion. That's damp weather.
That's okay. I've always put it down to that. I just assumed it was a bit of arthritis
Kerry,
in the hips,
Kerry, I'm going to ask you something.
Okay.
Are you ever saying to yourself, this isn't going to work? Are you ever saying to yourself, nothing will ever be right again if I do things this way? Do you hesitate to get involved with someone or something that is going to connect to your future because you're afraid it will all be for nothing? Do you say to yourself, this work is doing nothing for me anymore, or I'm not getting anywhere in life? Because if the pain is more pronounced in a standing position, you likely want to stand your ground, but you're actually immobilized by fear. And if, on the other hand, the pain in your hip occurs while you're sitting or lying down, it's a message from your body that you will not allow yourself to relax and regenerate when you need to. That's your emotional block.
I'm not going to admit that live on air. I think we can safely Claire can answer this for me.
I think we can safely say that if you have issues, you need to get in touch with Heather.
I think you're right.
I'm really enjoying this show, by the way.
I bet you are. Okay, well, let's not deal with my issues. Let's have a look at somebody else's.
That's what I'm saying, girls. The work that I do is confidential, and that's why when people say, oh, Heather, where are your testimonials? Where are the videos of the people? I can't get videos of the people. They don't want people to know what they're really thinking and what they're feeling and all of that kind of stuff.
I understand that. Because a lot of it can be quite personal.
Exactly. I mean, no one likes to admit that that's sort of part of who you are as a person, what you've just said about the hip thing. But I have to acknowledge that.
But it's exactly what Heather said, isn't it? About peeling the layers off of an onion.
Exactly, but you have to acknowledge that. There is a certain amount of that goes on. I mean, I do go, right, okay, so if I don't feel something's working, I will then try and find a different way of achieving that. So I'll still look at achieving that. So don't get me wrong. It's not like I hold myself back. I'll just look at a different angle. Like my favourite saying is there's many ways to skin a cat. But, I have to take on board what you've just said. I can't sit here and go, oh, I never have these problems, because that's a lie.
What happens with the ancestral healing is that the crystal moves round and round and round, indicating to me that your higher self goes into your Akashic records. It picks up that file that is causing you an issue, and it lifts it up and puts it into what we refer to as a dead file. And therefore, it clears your path. So if you can imagine there's debris on your path before you come to see me, ancestral clearing clears that debris, and you've got a beautiful, clear path ahead.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
It is, I have to say, since I met Heather, I hadn't thought about things in the way that Heather puts them down. And actually, the more I've spoken to Heather and the more I've seen how she works, yes, you, like Heather just said, you can't see the testimonials from other people because it's so personal, it's so confidential. And just listening to tonight's show with myself and Claire, you know, that gives you a very, very, very light look at some of the things that she does. But if you think about that on a serious level, if you think about that on a serious level, yes, okay, so I'm getting problems with my hips. It could be because of that. I need to clear that so I can drive forward, in all honesty. And that is the part, that's the next stage to what Heather does, which obviously we won't do on air because I'll probably end up in a blubbering wreck and it'll all get very messy. But
yeah, I mean, I think we're all a bit like pressure cookers and we push stuff down. So after people come and see me, one woman said she just sat on the floor in the kitchen and sobbed her heart out and felt so much better afterwards. And she'd come to me because she had financial issues. She was a copywriter, she was a journalist, she wasn't getting the work, she wasn't getting the money. But actually sitting here with me, she then said that she'd given up her daughter. The daughter was living with the dad. The daughter felt abandoned. The woman felt guilt, and all of this stuff came out. She went home, cried it all out, and everything moved on. She built up a relationship with her daughter. They started spending time together, and everything changed. And the money and the work suddenly flooded in.
Yeah. So it's about letting things go, isn't it?
And resolving.
If we let things go, it's dis-ease. It's back to dis-ease, isn't it?
Yes.
You know, sometimes we don't even realise what we're holding on to, do we?
No, it's all about balance and understanding that we are an energy, and it's so important to be balanced. And also with ancestral healing, I find out your 3 negative potentials and your 3 positive potentials. And again, it's getting them all rebalanced. And once you're consciously aware of it, you can focus on your main 3 positive potentials. And a lot of the time, it's about self-forgiveness. We walk about holding a beating stick and we beat ourselves up.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do that with your own best friend.
No, you wouldn't. We don't love ourselves enough, do we?
Exactly. And that's number 1 root healing, is learning to love yourself.
I said this to my husband the other day and he laughed at me, but then he did pass it on to our children. I made him stand in front of the mirror and I said, you need to look at that face and go, I love you.
Absolutely.
He thought it was hilarious.
All what Louise Hay has taught when, you know, she was alive, still there in all her books. And it's stuff that I do on retreat. We're going on retreat to Wales on the 20th of May. And we look in the mirror and we do that work. And there's lots of tears because people find it enormously challenging to really love themselves. And guess what? If you don't love yourself, it's not going to be reflected back at you by your partner, by your children. If you're a teacher, if you don't respect yourself, you're not going to get respect from others. It all starts with self.
Very much so. Now, the question in the chat room has come in. It says, does the work you do get done in stages over a time period, or is it in one session? Excuse me.
I've got to be crystal clear here. I've created a 90-day core transformational program where you work with me every 10 days. And we do that over a 3-month period to really get you from an island of pain to an island of peace. You can't just have the one-off Akashic reading and go off and everything's all sorted, because it just doesn't happen. So I do invite people to seriously consider the investment of the core transformation program,
which is basically 9
sessions.
Days. Yeah.
It's over a 3-month period, and you connect with me every 10 days.
Wow. I suppose you need that time in between to assimilate what's come out.
I encourage people to keep a journal, because some shifts can be very subtle and you think, oh, is that a coincidence? But nothing's a coincidence as the energy shifts and things change.
Well, it is. We always say this, don't we? Inner transformation and change is sometimes quite hard to do.
It can be really painful, can't it?
It can be very painful.
You are bringing up stuff that might be uncomfortable at times, but I love this work because I'm not regressing you. I'm not taking you back to any painful experiences. You're sitting there talking to me in the room, or it's done virtually, and the report is just written and sent to you wherever you live in the world. And then we follow that up with a Skype or a FaceTime conversation. And I give you the tools step by step to move you forward to where you wish to be.
Well, I think you're amazing.
I do too.
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
And as
I'll be having a little girl crush right now.
I know. And as I said on my live feed the other day, there is no way I would bring you somebody that I did not think was the real deal. That wasn't for my own credibility and integrity. I certainly wouldn't be bringing people on the shows if I didn't believe in the work they do. And Heather is phenomenal. She really, really is. Now, I've shared her website into the chat room, guys. I've also shared the I Am Indigo book link into the chat room, and the Hunch Club. So, you can get to work with Heather and Lisa in this Hunch Club that they're launching as well. So, guys, go check them out. Have a chat with them, or Heather mainly tonight, and see if this is something that can help you move forward in your life. So, Heather.
Yeah.
You obviously went through this process yourself to get to the stage that you're at now.
I did. I started off, as I said, with my youngest son, and we discovered that in past lives he had been misunderstood, because the thread running through his soul is a healer. And in many past lifetimes, people had a perception that people with healing energy were witches. They were, burnt at the stake. They were drowned. And that was causing him a problem in this life, where he was still being misunderstood. And once that was all cleared in his Akashic records, he went up, did all his GCSEs, he left school, he's got a great job, he's got a beautiful partner, he's got kids, and everything changed. And I thought, wow, I want to do this clearing work. And that's what started me off. And then
so you took him to somebody?
I worked on clearing myself.
You took him to somebody, did you say?
I took him to a lady to assess him, and she said he's kinesthetic, and she said she did this clearing therapy, and that's who I trained with.
Wow.
Amazing.
So you've worked on yourself as well?
I've worked on myself because I went through a very challenging time in my life where my 34-year-old relationship came to an end, and I'd been with that man since I was 15 years old, and it was a huge, huge change in my life. And I had to do a lot of clearing work for me, a lot of understanding, and I have that experience. I have that empathy for people, and I've worked a lot with people that now find themselves on their own, and they don't really know who they are. They don't know what they want.
Yeah. It's unfortunately that's becoming more and more of a thing, isn't it? Where relationships break down more than ever these days.
Yeah, I think that people are in a place now where they think, I don't need to be in this relationship that feels uncomfortable. And again, if that gut instinct is saying, red flag, this doesn't feel right, then take notice of that. It's important.
Yeah, it is important. Yeah.
Everyone deserves to be loved. And we're all here to give love, be love, receive love. And if you're in a relationship that isn't in love, then no, it's not right.
No. And it starts with the loving of yourself.
It all starts with loving yourself. So when I'm working with single people and they go, I keep going out there and meeting all these weird guys or whatever, it's because they don't love themselves. So they're like a magnet. They're attracting like, so that it's mirrored back at them. And once they start working on themselves and raising their energy vibration, they then meet someone of that caliber.
It's undervaluing yourself, isn't it? No matter how. Somebody told me that I wasn't charging enough for a thing that I do, like a group that I run, and they said that I was undervaluing myself. And
1,000,000%. I work with so many coaches and healers and therapists that come to me, and there's some kind of belief whereby they feel bad about charging for what they do. But if you don't value it, if you don't see the value in it, how do you expect anyone else to see the value in it?
Yeah. It takes a while, doesn't it, though?
The value in ancestral healing is life-changing. So are they going to spend the money to go to the theatre and have a meal for a couple of £100, or are they going to change their life? It's their perspective of value.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
Because so many people
very much so.
No, I do. People say, I can't spend that now. And then you look on Facebook and they've just gone to a concert and paid £100 for a ticket, and you think whether you didn't value it enough then to change your life.
Yes.
True. Yeah, and like you said, there is this perception that, if you have this, and I'm using air quotes, gift, that you shouldn't charge because it's freely given to you, but they forget the work that's gone into that on your own self and the learning experiences you've gone. And if everybody could do it, then we would be doing it, wouldn't we?
I think
exactly.
That, I deal a lot with money blocks with people and abundance blocks. And there's this belief that money is the root of all evil. And if people are a healer or they do this, they should give it away freely. But if that's the case, then who's going to pay their mortgage?
Exactly.
Who's paying their council tax? Who's paying for their food at the supermarket? Who's running their car? We all have to live. Money is just an energy, and there's more than enough for everybody, if you believe that.
Yes, I do. I totally agree with you.
So there's nothing wrong with money, nothing wrong with it at all. Money doesn't buy happiness.
No, but unfortunately, it does make life a lot easier.
The greatest joy a human can have is giving. So when you've got an abundance of money and you're in a position to give back, like Tony Robbins feeds millions, that's what it's all about. So the Hunt Club is collaborating with a mental health organisation, which is a non-profit organisation called the Yellow Book. And the Hunt Club will help them raise funds to put the yellow books freely into every hospital and doctor's surgery to help those dealing with mental health.
That's amazing. What you're doing is amazing. Yeah.
And that's where you give back.
It's all about giving back. You can have a great joy for 5 minutes to go out and buy a new dress, but the greatest joy is giving to others.
Yeah,
I actually do agree with that.
It really is, yeah.
But not a detrimental effect to yourself, of course.
No.
And that's the point, isn't it? My goodness, what a show, ladies.
Wow, great.
I am
absolutely
a little bit
amazing.
mind blown. Little bit mind blown, I have to say, at the skill you have, Heather.
Thank you.
In fact, there was a little more. What people out there who's listening probably don't realise, there was a lot more subtlety with what Heather was saying than people give credit for in regards to when she was working with Clare on air. There was a lot more subtlety in there that resonated with Clare. Yeah. I know Clare very well, obviously, than would necessarily have been picked up. So if Heather works with you, that's what she's going to do for you. And I know that blew Claire's mind a little bit there.
Well, the whole time she was speaking to you, she was blowing my mind as well. Obviously, I know Kerry quite well as well. But Heather, thank you so much. Because, I mean, yes, you were, I know you were, Kerry's right, you were being very subtle. But I was completely resonating with what you were saying. It was spot on. Everything you said, particularly about my health. And the control and power, the self-empowerment. I've totally worked all through that. And I used to get very angry. Having small children used to really frustrate me. We used to have a lot of arguments in our house. My children are older now. We've all moved forward, but I'm in a place where I sit in universal energy every day, and I surrender my life to the universe every day, and I attract what I hope to receive. You know, I give out what I hope to receive.
Good.
And I feel so much more self-empowered than I ever have before. So you are completely spot on with that. So thank you so much.
My pleasure. And I hope to see you girls and anyone listening out there at the live event in South Kensington on Saturday, the 9th of June. It would be great to meet you in person. We've got a great day lined up. It's going to be such fun. And we will have that live in about 2 days. We've got a computer expert working on creating the website. So as soon as it's available, please keep your eyes out on the Facebook page.
And don't forget, share the link with me, and I'll share that to the Pararsearch Radio group page as well. As always, my lovely.
Brilliant.
What a fantastic show. Thank you so much for listening. We're drawing to the end. Now, a few notifications, as always. Well done to Becky Lyons. She won the mediumistic reading with our very own Claire Hinks. We'll be in touch with you very, very soon, Becky. Don't forget, go over to our brand spanking new YouTube channel, Pararsearch Radio, and give us a little like, share, comment, subscribe on any of the videos. There's exclusive vlogs going up on there over the next few months, I will say, where you get more of a overview about what's happening in the background at Pararsearch Radio. And if we get to this event, we would even do a vlog on that for you guys, so you get to see what goes on, not just hear about it and read about it.
That would be brilliant.
That would be awesome. Now,
give it a live broadcast.
Could you imagine? Little vlog on that one. Anyway, so check that out. Now, tomorrow I will be going live on the Pararsearch Radio group page to give you a rundown of all the shows coming up for the week ahead of us. As always, we have got some amazing guests and shows coming up for you. Absolutely astonishing what we've got coming up for you next week, is all I can say. We have a doctor in the house next weekend on the Spirit Dimension. Just a little sneaky peek there. On that note, I want to bid you all a very farewell. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope you enjoyed the show. All the links for Heather are into the chat room, which you can still access even if it's a podcast on the Spreaker channel. And I will be sharing her links on the Pararsearch Radio group page just in case you can't find them. On that note, I'd like to bid you all a very farewell. Thank you once again, Heather, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Heather.
Much. Thank you very much, girls. It's been such fun.
And
it's been lovely talking to you.
It's been amazing.
Thank you.
And thank you so, so much, Claire, for joining me, because that was awesome.
It was. It's a really good... See, we knew. We knew it would be good.
We knew it was going to be fine with all the glitches we had earlier on. We managed to sort it, and there was obviously a reason for that. So Thank you so much. Say next week on the Spirit Dimension, we have a doctor in the house, so don't forget to tune into that one. To find out more details on that, you need to tune in tomorrow on the Pararsearch Radio group page for a rundown on all the shows. And on that, I bid you all a very farewell. Good night.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Pararsearch Radio.